help me finish what I'm saying here, Sandra. If I am in a job search situation and I want to tell a great story, how do I know what to leave in, what to leave out? You're not aiming it at everyone, you're aiming it at a particular target. It's a lot to do, and a lot of us don't do it well on our own. Talk to us about at least some of the construct that we should be thinking.
Well, so you have your core value, and that's just that thing inside you that you know about you, like these core problems that you solve. And then when you go about in conversation, it's going to sound differently, especially to the extent of the different chunks of time that you have, the different scenarios that you're in. For instance, if somebody is making an introduction for you, somebody works with another person that you want to be introduced to, and they work at that company, but they don't do what you do. They're in a completely different department, but they happen to know that person, or they happen to be a good in. You might not want to go into some of the specifics that you would go into when you're actually talking to that person. So you'd really just stick to that core, maybe what we call executive brand statement, which is the problem that you solve. And so it becomes a very easy and memorable line. Again, maybe it's that low resolution, but a very easily and memorable line that they can even attach an image to in their mind and walk over and tell that story. Now, when the member that I spoke of, he was able to easily convey that message to a person that said, we need to talk some more. And then when he went to go talk with them, then when you sit down and you have that coffee, now you're going to get into a lot more detail. Here's where understanding their reaction to things that you're saying tell you which direction to go in a little bit more. Did that hit in on it a little bit?
Yeah, I believe it did. So
Okay.
how do we practice telling a great story? I mean, you can go on a number of interviews and walk away feeling, well, I shouldn't have done it that way. Is there something you can do in advance, a technique that maybe our listeners can practice before they find themselves in a real life situation?
Well, first of all, it didn't start at the interview.
Right, of
You
course.
had to get in the interview somewhere, and being able to tell your story just to random people you talk to is important. I have two candidates that actually got jobs from people standing in line at Starbucks. One was actually my client, and he was talking to my candidate at the time. Unbeknownst to me, he was looking for he was looking to confidentially replace his CFO. I had no idea that was going on, and I never did until she actually got the job. So it can be in random situations too, but once you actually get to the interview, you have a whole new set of foundation that you can actually start to get into the conversation of what their actual problem is. So I would start practicing constructing the questions that you need to ask to figure out a little bit more about what those problems are. And hopefully, given that you're the subject matter expertise, the solutions are just going to sort of flow, and you won't really need to practice as much as you will have to stay mindful about keeping it from their perspective. And remember, you're walking them through it.